Hey everyone, welcome to Yoga Elements Fire Flow. Let's go ahead and get started. If you have a block or a stack of books, feel free to have them on standby in case you need them. We're going to begin by making our way into a comfortable position of choice. Perhaps you're coming into child's pose, taking the knees nice and wide, and just melting the chest down toward the earth, spreading wide through the fingers as you stretch the arms all the way to the top of the mat. And then maybe even pressing the hips back toward the heels as you nestle in, finding a deep release. Perhaps you're finding a comfortable seat, and just finding that stillness within as the shoulders fall heavy down the back. And feel free just to smooth over any tension that has just been deeply rooted within the body lately. Taking this time to just navigate all of the tightness, all of the muscles that need to be just released. Tightness in the mind as the thoughts kind of feel like they're entwined. Notice what needs to be softened. It doesn't always have to be physically. It doesn't always have to be mentally. Wherever you are, find some peace of mind and a few deep cleansing rounds of breath as you start to fill up and let go. Start to be open-minded just to the way that we clench on to the things that don't really serve us well. The things that make us feel heavy. The things that no longer bring us joy. The things that fill us up with fear and uncertainty, self-doubt. Just start to notice the patterns that we get sucked into. And start to recognize that there is always a path out. Starting right here with our breath, let's begin to fill it up, tapping into that ujjayi. We're going to prepare to find downward facing dog. So whatever you need to do between now and then, be mindful, be conscious, start to roll the forehead, maybe lift the fingers. And we'll all meet in our dog pose. Finding some movement here that you need. Inhale onto the toes, round the spine forward, exhaling into a flat back, finding plank. Firming up the muscles, pressing the ground away. And then on the next inhale, shift the weight forward, tuck the chin to the chest, and then press back as you roll into downward facing dog. Long breath out, maybe the heels meet the mat. We'll do it again. Inhale, high up onto the toes, pressing the ground away, rolling forward like a wave. Breath out as you flatten into plank. And then when you're ready, inhale, shift forward, push down as you roll back into dog pose. You're going to do this a few more rounds on your own, linking that breath to movement, allowing the body to just find that state of fluidity. Staying engaged and active, staying strong, and just letting go of the thoughts and coming into the body, into the breath. Landing in our downward facing dog, pedaling out through the legs, and then just taking the right arm and drawing a few circles as you allow it to just dangle underneath the belly. Maybe reaching it underneath toward the left and then toward the right. maybe to the spine. And then when you're ready, you'll do the other arm, just allowing some mindful movement to surface. Downward facing dog. Right arm is going to reach in toward the left leg, whether it's the ankle, the knee, the thigh. We're just going to take a little twist in the torso. Perhaps you could take your gaze up to the sky underneath the left arm. Grabbing a hold of the leg and then switch it up. Left hand toward the outside of the right leg. Pressing into the feet, bringing that twist. Plant the palm, downward facing dog. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Lifting the butt bones up high, dropping the head, come high onto the toes. And maybe you want to walk, maybe tiptoe, maybe jump to the top of the mat. Forward fold, drawing the crown of the head down toward the toes. Dropping weight into the feet, lengthen, flat back, halfway lift. Shoulders away from ears, then forward fold back down to the toes. Let's root the feet into the earth, push away as we sweep the arms up overhead. Adding a slight back bend if the spine is ready for it. Pushing into the feet, pressing the hips forward, lifting the gaze, reaching behind you. And then fold over the legs, bending the knees, dropping down. Breath in, lengthen the spine, gaze down toward the mat. And then find high plank as we push into the palms and then step it back. Take a full breath in. Big breath out, settling into the strong foundation. When you're ready, slowly guide yourself all the way or halfway down. Chaturanga. Push into the palms, lifting the gaze and the heart. Roll the shoulders away from the heart, squeezing the blades together. And then press it back when you're ready, downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the legs, making any minor adjustments, coming fully into the physical being, right where it is. We're going to do a couple more sun salutations. So when you're ready, inhale to the toes, travel the feet to the top of the mat, any way that you'd like. Folding over the legs. And then a big breath in, lift up, extend the spine, forward fold. Push down, inhale, root to rise. Take the gaze up. Find that back bend if it's in your practice. Pressing hips forward, arching the spine, fold back down. Lengthen the spine as we lift up and then fold, stepping into our high plank. Firming up the muscles, slow breath in. Breath out. Let's take one more right here. And then when you're ready, take it down slowly with control, no rush. Notice the sensations, notice how you feel. Inhale to that up dog. And then slowly press it back, lift the hips high, downward facing dog. You're going to do another one on your own. Maybe playing around as you float to the mat, pressing the palms down, engaging the belly muscles, bending the knees. Any way that you'd like to arrive. No expectation through the practice. Just really coming into the body as it is. No rush. Right here. Breathing in. And when you're done with that sun salutation, we'll just meet in downward facing dog. Take your time. Listening to the sound of the breath. Listening when you just need to offer up some modifications. Maybe you're going to pause in that high plank for longer than usual, testing the physical and the mental body, trusting within the process. Downward facing dog. And take a big breath in through the nose. We're going to find some down dog push-ups. So when you breathe out, the elbows are going to bow out to the side and you're going to still remain in this upside down V. So take a big breath in and then bend the elbows out, lower the head toward the mat. And then push the ground away, return back to that full downward facing dog. Do a few of these on your own. Warming up the triceps and the biceps, the shoulders. Really finding the strength within this movement. Being really mindful and conscious of the way that your body feels. Backing away from any physical pain. Maybe not even going down halfway. Maybe you just go down a couple inches. And then allow yourself to make your way to a forward fold at the back of your mat. Dropping the head toward the toes. Finding that sweet release in the low spine. You can grab the elbows or just sway side to side. Lower the wrists to the mat. And then point the palms toward the toes. And you're just going to stretch out the forearms and the wrists. It's okay if the palms don't make it all the way down. Maybe all 4 of your fingers or all 8 of your fingers meet the mat except the thumbs. And you're just going to stretch out the hands. You can really get creative with this and give yourself exactly what it needs. Maybe you interlace the fingers and just shake the hands out. And we're going to make our way back into a high plank, crawling to the top, pressing the earth away. Downward facing dog. Good. Float the right leg high, flexing the toes down. Bend the knee, just kick the heel to the butt, but don't open up the hip. We're going to draw some really big circles, about 3 in each direction. So don't worry if your circles aren't too big. We're just warming up the hips. And then after your 6th round of circles, go ahead and bend the knee, open up the hip, allowing the heel to just fall heavy to the left seat. If you'd like a little more, drop the left forearm to the earth, tent the right fingers and crawl them toward the top of the mat, just adding some intensity, keeping a strong left leg and a strong right leg as we hug the heel to the butt. Returning to a 3-legged dog, breathe in. And on the exhale, flex the right toes and shift the leg all the way out to the right, aligning the foot with the hip bone. And then dropping the foot down wherever you can. Good. Walk the hands underneath the belly. Find a Skandasana in the right leg. Find that twist as you elevate the right arm. Flat back. Take a breath in, reaching toward the sky. Legs are strong, pressing them into the earth. Lower the right hand down and then crawl the hands back to the mat. Use the core to sweep the right leg back up to the sky and then flip into Wild Thing. Rooting down through the left hand, squeezing the thighs, squeezing the glutes, lifting the hips up, reaching the hand toward the top of the mat. Take a breath in, slow it down. Notice what's happening. And then slowly start to tip over, crunching knee to shoulder, step to the top of the mat, forward fold. And let's just melt right in. Let it go. And then when you're ready, go ahead and interlace the fingers, rinsing the shoulders. You can do this in a fold, or you're more than welcome to come up to standing and then pressing the knuckles to the earth, lifting the gaze up. Doing whatever meets the body's needs, again without expectation, but with intention. And slowly release the bind. We're going to make our way into chair pose, sending the weight into the heels, lowering the hips down, rooting into the earth, pressing the ground away with the feet, but yet intentionally reaching through the upper body, stretching the ribs and the spine. Inhale to the toes as we airplane the arms. Really activate the muscles in the legs. Hover the chest over the thighs. Reach the arms behind you. See if you can lift the heels up and then drop them down back to chair pose. Take a breath in. Fold over the legs. Step into high plank. And then reach the right arm up, side plank, digging into the knife edges of the feet, rainbow the hips. Take a big breath in. Now listen up. We're going to begin to tuck the right arm underneath our belly, and as we square up the hips and the chest to the mat, slowly drop the knees, and we're going to melt right into a thread the needle. Continue to reach the right fingertips toward the left wall, and then take the shoulder and the side of your cheek, your right cheek, to the mat. Keeping the hips on top of the knees. Let's find some room for breath. So intensifying this pose as needed. Maybe you need a little less. Maybe you need a little more. And then pop right back up into that side plank. Reach the right arm up. Find that strength. Big breath in. Chaturanga. Breath out. Roll into that up dog and then slowly press back. Downward facing dog. Big breath out. Big breath out. Left leg floats up. Bend the knee and then draw those circles. So 3 circles in both directions. A total of 6. Carving out the space underneath the belly. Finding that mobility within the hips. And then when you're ready, bend the knee. Open the hip all the way up as you point the knee to the ceiling. Heel is going to hang heavy toward the right sit bone. Notice the difference of this side. If you want a little more, drop to the right forearm. Crawl the left fingertips away from the head. And then distort the pose, finding a deeper means of intensity. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Firm up the muscles and then sweep the left leg all the way out to the side. Drop the foot across from the hip bone. Crawl your fingers toward the leg and then inhale for that Skandasana twist. So right leg is lengthened, left leg is bent. Elevate the chest halfway. Take another breath in through the nose. Breath out. Crawl back to the mat. Sweep the leg into 3 using the core and then bend right into Wild Thing. Sweep the arm up overhead, reaching the fingers. Arching the spine, rolling the hips and the chest parallel to the ceiling. Take another breath in as we press down to lift up. And then slowly find side plank. Crunch the knee toward the chest and then step the foot to the top of the mat. Forward fold as we surrender with just a grateful sigh of relief. Interlacing the fingers in your fold, or you're more than welcome to come up to standing. Pressing the knuckles either to the sky or to the floor, depending on your position. And then sitting low into our chair pose. Let's meet ourselves here once again, but I challenge you to sink a little bit lower than the last round. Notice what can happen here. Notice when you just eliminate the thoughts and focus deeper on the breath and the intention behind the practice. Let's see if we can sit just a little bit lower and then forward fold, surrender. Inhale halfway, fold, press back, high plank, and then take it down halfway. Breath into up dog. Breath out. Press it back. Soften the knees, but keep the muscles engaged. Inhale. Step the left foot through on the exhale, and then walk your hands over to the right. We're going to face the right wall and come into temple pose. Toes out, heels in. And maybe you can sit low depending on the hips. Maybe you're just going to stay up a little bit. And then goalpost the arms. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. So we're going to bring our right elbow to the inside of our right thigh. And then take the left arm up overhead. Kind of like an extended side angle, but in temple pose. Legs are active, feet are pressing down. We're creating a little friction. Inhale, temple, and then reverse. Left elbow to the inner left leg. Reach the right arm directly up overhead. And then exhale, come back. So you're just going to switch. You're going to keep finding these extended side angles each time, each side. Moving slowly, connecting breath to movement. And just keep going on your own. Allowing yourself to truly navigate through this challenging yet intentional sequence. Getting a stretch in the side body, the ribs, the arms, and certainly feeling the burn in the legs. And once you feel that burn, can you push down into the feet, grounding a little harder, just noticing the subtle differences? Exhale and inhale. Last round. Keep the breath. And then we're going to take our right hand down to the mat next to our right foot. Take the left arm up overhead. Yeah, and then switch. Reach the right arm up. Take the left hand down next to the left foot. See if you can really press the palm into the mat. And then forward fold, finding that wide-legged stance. Maybe just crawling to the left, crawling to the right, whatever serves you in this moment. Knocking out any stored tension in the body. Smoothing out the breath. Maybe you drop the crown of the head toward the mat. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift up. And then crawl all the way back toward the left leg. High plank on the inhale. Chaturanga. We'll meet in our downward facing dog. Drop the knees, child's pose. Any variation here. Finding some restoration of the body and the mind. Noticing what you're still holding on to. So that could be something as simple as clenching the jaw. It could be something a little deeper, like holding on to a specific thought, a specific emotion that just has been weighing really heavy on you lately. Maybe something that someone said to you, maybe something you said to yourself, or maybe you're just overwhelmed with anything else that has been happening. Slowly make your way into downward facing dog. And maybe you can lower the heels all the way down to the mat. Inhale, roll forward. And then find side plank. Right arm reaches high. Ground down through the left palm. So we're going to bend the knees and drop the hips down to the heels and then shoot back into side plank. Let's try again. So drop the hips back to the heels, bend the knees, and then inhale, shoot right back into side plank, but this time lift the right leg up for starfish, making an X. We're going to do that again. Lower the foot, bend the knees, send the hips back. Inhale, shoot right into that side plank. Float the leg up. Keep it active and engaged. Flex the toes again. Bend the knees. Drop the hips. Inhale, float back up. Reach the arm. Reach the leg. And then find high plank, knee to right elbow. We're going to breathe here. Just pause, just hold. Keep the core active. Try not to slouch. Try not to get lazy. Let's take one more big breath in. Step the foot to the outside of the right hand. We're going to sink low into this lunge, so feel free to drop the back knee. We're going to thread the right arm underneath the right knee, and that right shoulder is going to kiss the back of our leg. So it's going to dig right into the calf. So settle in as we nestle. And then I'm going to lift my left knee off the mat. You're more than welcome to keep it down. Crawl the fingertips out to the side. Lift the arms, the palms off the mat, airplane. Keep the chest square to the mat. Try not to teeter the weight back and forth. Allow the weight to become even. Using the back leg as much as the right leg. Take a big breath in. Breath out. Shoulders away from the ears. Let's see if we can take one more inhale. And then lower the hands under the shoulders. We're going to attempt flying lizard. Begin to crawl the right foot all the way out in front of you. And then drop the left elbow into the left hip. Shelving the arms like running man. Extend the legs. Lift them off the mat. Take a breath in. Breath in. You can lower the head down if you'd like. And then drop back into that lizard. Navigating the foot next to the right pinky. The palms are going to come together right in between, or going to come to the inside of the ankle, I should say. And then push down, come all the way up into crescent. Big breath in. Strong legs. Interlace the fingers to the tail. Take a big breath in, maybe lift the gaze. We're going to prepare for warrior 3. And once you feel grounded, stable, confident, explorative, go ahead and take off. Maybe you teeter back and forth. That's okay. Find the balance. You come out, come back in. Keep the back leg active and engaged. Flex the toes down. And maybe over time you can straighten that right leg. Inhale, release the bind and reach the arms out overhead. Stay right here. Bend both knees. Bring the left knee next to the right knee for perch pose. And then airplane the arms. Lift the gaze, hovering the chest. Keep squeezing the left heel toward the left glute. Left foot never meets the mat. And then inhale, reach the arms back overhead. Find that warrior 3, strong legs. And then last one, perch pose. Act like you're coming into chair, but it's one leg on the ground, one leg off the ground. One more breath in. Pyramid pose. Just drop that left foot behind you. Forward fold over the straight legs. Melt the chest toward the thigh. Melt the chin toward the shin. Maybe lift up halfway. And then exhale. Surrender whenever you're ready. Breathing through the intensity, breathing through the muscles, lift up halfway, inhale. And then exhale, step the left foot back even further, sweep the arms up overhead, warrior 2. Sinking into the lunge, pressing the palms toward the earth. And then just extending the fingertips in opposite directions. Take a big breath in. And then slowly lower the palms to the mat. Let's set up for cow face as the left knee tucks behind the right, falling to the sit bones. Right knee stacked on top, settle in mindfully, adjust as needed. Toes flex forward. And maybe you can't stack the knees, that's okay. Do what you can. Inhale the arms up overhead. And then lower the right palm or forearm to the mat. We're going to stretch the left arm up overhead and toward the right. Stretching out the left side body, rooting down through the butt. Slow breath in and out. Inhale through center. Other side. And then we'll come up once more, arms reach overhead. Lower the palms to the legs or fold over entirely. And just melting the heart toward the knees if that's where you are. Breathing into the tension of the outside of the right hip. And just about another breath or two here, surrendering, breathing, letting go. Slowly start to elevate the shoulders up over the hips. We're going to keep the left leg as it is, but we're going to slide the right foot around the left knee and then send the right heel toward our right butt cheek, creating just an S shape with our legs. We're going to reach our arms behind the left thigh, adding a little twist in the torso. The legs will remain right where they are. Take a slow breath in through the nose. Breathe in, and then close it off with the exhale. And then slowly come back to center. Left leg stays, but the right foot is going to meet the left sole, coming into Supta Baddha legs. Perhaps cupping the knife edges of the feet, digging the elbows into the thighs, and just assisting as the hips open. Folding if you'd like. And then we'll make our way back to the mat, pressing the palms down, stepping into plank. Lowering halfway, chaturanga, inhale to up. And then press into downward facing dog. We'll begin to make our way into side plank on the left side. So whenever you're ready, slowly shift forward. Inhale, reaching the left fingertips up and then stacking the feet or finding a different variation for your side plank. Rooting down through the right palm, digging the knife edges of the feet, lifting the hips. And since we forgot to do this earlier, we're going to come into that thread the needle where we start to reach our left arm under the belly, under the right ribs, tucking, squaring the chest and the hips, and then with control, lowering the knees, finishing off that thread the needle as we nestle the left shoulder and the left side of the face down to the earth, finding some release in the body. Maybe the gaze goes up to the sky. Maybe you take your right hand to your back pocket. Just allowing yourself to be right here in the moment as it is. And then we'll come back into that side plank. Inhale, sweep the arm up. And then begin to bend the knees, drop the hips down toward the heels as we sweep the left arm to the back of the mat. And then inhale, sweep right back into side plank, lift the left leg up. Lower the foot, reach the arm, circle it down to the back of the mat. Bend the knees, drop the hips, inhale, sweep into that starfish, lift the leg. We'll do it one more time on your own. As you bend the knees, send the hips down to the heels. Inhale, shoot it up. High plank. Bring the knee toward the left elbow, pausing here, creating some friction within the body. And then step the foot to the outside of the left hand, coming into that lizard stance. And begin to nestle the left shoulder tightly under the left leg as we prepare for those airplane arms. Perhaps you'd like to drop the right knee down for some extra assistance. And then find your pose. Elevate the palms off the mat, reach the fingertips in the opposite direction, soaring, lifting the gaze, crown of the head forward. Strengthen both of the legs, not just relying on that left one. And then if you'd like, lower the palms under the shoulders. Start to scoot the left foot all the way out away from the fingers, coming into flying lizard. Dropping into chaturanga arms, digging the right elbow into the right hip bone and taking flight. Lower the right toes, return back into that lizard. And then palms meet to the inner ankle. Press down into the earth. Take the arms up overhead slowly, riding the inhale all the way into crescent. Good. Interlace the fingers to the back. Press the knuckles down toward the earth. And then we're going to slowly take flight into Warrior 3, finding our balance as we maybe fall in and out. Working through the intensity. Trying to still the body so we can still the mind. Keeping a steady gaze. Inhale, swim the arms forward. And then exhale, bend both knees, coming into that perch pose, almost like a one-legged chair. Airplane the arms, hover the chest, keep flexing the right heel up. And then inhale, shoot into Warrior 3 slowly with control. And then exhale, find perch, airplane the arms, bend and tuck the knee, keep the right foot elevated. And then drop into pyramid pose, both legs straighten, and we're folding over the left leg this time. And then take your time as you surrender. Lowering the fingers either to a block or to the mat, maybe taking a halfway lift, and then folding chin to shin. Hips are square. Coming into whatever it is that you need for the body, coming into that ultimate stretch. That intention, finding softness, being able to just slowly break open. Step the right foot back, Warrior 2, pressing into the feet, using the ground to help you come all the way up. Arms nice and long, shoulders away from the ears. Maybe you can sink a little bit deeper into that front leg, being mindful of the hip. And exhale, lower down. We're going to slide the right knee behind the left, falling right into cow face. Stacking the knees as much as you can without feeling physical pain, without forcing the body into places where it may not be ready to go. And then inhale the arms up. We'll find those stretches. Lower the right palm or the forearm to the mat. Sweeping the left fingertips all the way over to the right. Staying grounded in the sit bones. Inhale, arms up, other side. Strong focus on the side body. Maybe gaze goes up toward the fingers. Inhale, come up. Exhale, forward fold completely or bring the fingers toward the knees. And just settle into the shape. Targeting the outside of the left hip. Being mindful of the knees. And then we'll slowly just begin to make our way out, scooting the left foot around the right knee. And then taking the left heel behind you toward the back of the mat. Keep the right leg exactly as it is. We're going to make that S shape with the legs. And then turn the torso toward the right side of the mat, placing the palms out in front of that thigh, finding the twist in the torso. And we'll make our way back to our mat slowly, just kind of scooting on over. And we'll eventually make our way into a nice wide-legged fold, pressing through the heels, flexing the toes. And maybe you're content with just keeping the shoulders stacked on the hips. Or perhaps you can fall, bringing the chest and the face toward the floor. And just creating a lot of space here as you continue to breathe through the tension, softening the muscles of the body. Begin to walk the hands back as you elevate the chest, and we're going to make our way onto the spine. Bringing the knees right over the hip bones, finding tabletop. Interlace the fingers to the back of the head, elbows out nice and wide. Lower the right heel toward the mat with control, and then exhale the right elbow toward the left knee, coming up. And then switch. Bring the right leg up, lower the left heel, and then curl the left elbow toward the right knee. Twist and come up, and then go ahead and alternate. So very similar to the style of bicycle crunches, but we're keeping the legs in tabletop and lowering each one down, just one at a time. Keep pressing the low back down to the earth. So find that extra engagement within the core, hugging belly muscles to the bones. And just using the core to bring you up, not the strength of your arms or your head, but just allowing the palms to lightly support the head. Moving slow, in control, intentional. If you'd like to add on, come into full bicycle with the legs, really extending that leg all the way out to the top of the mat, hovering the heel, and continue to come up. Each breath in and out, just finding fluidity in the breath, not trying to rush it, not trying to hold it in. And we don't have to go fast, but if you'd like to pick up the pace and still keep control of the body, feel free. This is your practice. Maybe you want to stop right here and hug the knees into the belly. And finishing our last couple rounds. Release the arms out like wings. Hover the knees above the belly button. Take a big breath in through your nose. And then we're just going to drop the legs all the way over to the right, coming into a supine twist of choice. Maybe the legs stay bent. Maybe you straighten them. Maybe you cross the left leg on top of the right. And then a slow breath in. Travel the legs back through the middle and all the way over to the opposite side. Taking the gaze toward the right thumb. And just basking in contentment of the practice. Bring the legs back through the middle, and then we're going to make our way into plow pose, or you can come into a forward fold at the top of the mat. If you need more in the hips, perhaps you'd like to come into happy baby or supta baddha. I'm just finding a few more rounds of breath before making our way into our final pose of choice, and when you're ready, find comfort in whatever shape you're coming into for Shavasana. Returning back to a normal breathing pattern, allowing the body to just feel natural in this moment, washing away any leftover tension and just allowing the body to melt into the earth, feeling heavy, but yet the soul feels light, refreshed. Honoring where you are right here, right now. Choosing to always treat yourself with kindness, joy, compassion, love, even during those really dark and heavy moments. Slowing the breath down, shutting the eyes, coming into that mental state of Shavasana.